So I've been getting a lot of messages lately, people asking me how I got where I am right now. And it always kind of takes me back because I'm only a fraction of an inch ahead of anyone else. But then again, I'm only a fraction of an inch behind anyone else. So I understand the question because I remember asking that of an artist I really looked up to. And her response was like mine, just do it. But I can understand how daunting it would be talking to galleries, not knowing what they're going to say. What if they say no, blah, 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 blah. So I'll tell you what I did. Every year I have a list of goals and I have to-dos. And I set them up before New Year's, usually before Christmas. I have them outlined. Then Christmas week, I spend the week trying to organize my thoughts. How am I going to reach these goals? So that by New Year's Day, I hit the ground running. I know what I'm going to do every month or what I'm going to attempt to do every month. Well, let me start this way. I have the goals for the year, the overall list for the year. Then they're broken down into quarters. Then they're broken down into months. And then we start breaking them down into weeks, into tiny little fractions that I can eat every day. Just So I walk into the new year with this list of goals that I'm going to chew on for the rest of the year. The thing that got me from here to here, or here to here, which is where I am right now, is unbridled determination, stubbornness, and complete myopic drive. You can say no to me all you want, but that doesn't mean it's no to all opportunities. It means I'm going to go, you're going to say no to me, and I'll turn and I'll look over here and go after another opportunity, or try and find one is actually it. And I think that's what people find daunting, is trying to find these opportunities. And they, people say these altruistic things like, create your own opportunity, create your future. It is really hard. No one turns around, well, except for a couple of really good-looking people, no one turns around and says, here is everything you want on the plate. Have at it, and we will help you, and we will give you money, and we will do it all because you're so talented and so fantastic. That really only happens to one or two people once in a very great while. And it certainly hasn't happened to me. People have given me opportunities. But it's not like, here, we will help you do everything. Because that's not how it works. 100%, I can't even say 90%, 100% of being an artist is getting up every morning, deciding that you're going to commit your day, commit every ounce of energy you have to your art. And not just sitting, well, for some people it's just sitting in their living room making stuff. That's awesome. I call that a hobbyist. An artist is one thing. An artist is someone who works for their art, who is given every single thing they have to and for their art. Diane Arbus, Borgia, Toulouse-Lautrec. I'm trying to remember just even a few of my favorites. I forgot to make my mental list, but there's so many people who have come before us that have given everything for their art. So someone who's sitting at home painting in their living room and then showing their paintings to their friends, but only paints when the muse hits them, I'm sorry, that's a hobbyist. That's not an artist. That's someone who gets to pick and choose what % of every day is going to be devoted to their art. I'm sounding really lofty and contemptuous, and I feel that way sometimes. Because I've had to give up food, eating for days, 4 or 5 days at a time, just so I could buy paint. I've had to, coming to my studio, You know, people read it on my Facebook page how it takes me 3 hours to get here some days. That's not a joke. I have trouble walking, but I will walk 4 or 5 miles to get here because the bus stops 4 or 5 miles from here on certain days. And then I got to turn around and do the whole thing over again in the cold, in the rain. This isn't a choice. This is my life. This is dedication to the only career I have ever wanted. Since I was 4 years old, I've wanted this. So here we are. So it's getting up every day, deciding what you're going to do. It's setting that goal and doing nothing but marching towards it. Now, when I set the goal of getting an A gallery in New York for 2011, that was my only goal. It had to be broken into little pieces. It had to be broken into quarters, into months, and into weeks. The first thing I did was I got a truckload of canvases because I decided I was going to start working towards building a portfolio. A new portfolio, because I was in a new city. So I don't know how many paintings I made, but as soon as I had, I think 40 or 50, I started dragging them to a professional photographer in Fall River named Chuck Pappas. And he's a genius. He took a 6 by 9 foot roll of canvas that hadn't been stretched, laid it all out, got up on a ladder and photographed so you can barely see the folds in it. He's just, I adore him, and he's reasonable. His name is Chuck Pappas, and he works with artists and people like Foster Grant as well. He's a very generous man. Then I took Chuck's photographs, and I found I had met another artist, graphic designer at AS220. AS220, they're art studios here in Providence, Rhode Island. Just, if I ever talk about AS220, I could go on for hours. I love them. I love that place. But I met this woman named Lori Bates, Loribates, Lori Bates. She's a graphic designer from Newport, Rhode Island, and she put this together for me. Chuck put all the images on a disc in JPEG and GIF or PNG or something, I don't know. And then Lori, who has worked with him before, put together this for me. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a graphic designer, and I don't have the patience to do this. Because while she was putting this together, I was taking a web design class at RISD, which I failed miserably at, but I tried. I did my best. So she put this together for me. And I got this idea from a gallery owner on the Cape that I knew, who pulled out, she said, Becky, I want to show you something. She wouldn't carry my art, but she said, I want to show you something. So she pulled out this brochure, little booklet actually, of these paintings. And she said, look at this. And I did, and I couldn't understand because the paintings were mediocre at best. They were bad sailboats. And she said, that's not the point. This tells me he's serious about what he's doing. So I took that idea and I made a little version of it. Because this did cost me a little bit of money to get started. But this also got my foot in the door. It also got me a lot of really nice rejection letters. Some of the best rejection letters I've ever seen. Like, Dear Ms. Lane, your presentation is the best my gallery has ever seen. Sorry, but. So the rejection comes, and it keeps coming, even when you have something as fabulous